Hi everybody, my name is John, and you're watching the Olive Drive Alliance. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of camp cooking. We're going to bake a meatloaf on our Coleman stove. You heard me right. We're going to bake on a stove? Well, not necessarily. We're going to be using not only our Coleman stove, but also our Coleman oven. Stick around, I'll show you how it all works. You're not going to want to miss this, and I'm not going to want to miss out on that meatloaf. So, here we go. So here I've got my Coleman 426D. It's a 3-burner stove, but you don't have to use a 3-burner stove. Here's the oven. This one's from the 1960s, I believe. We got a thermostat here to tell you how hot it is in there. I've got a pizza stone in there. Now, the pizza stone and the pans that fit in here best are the ones that are meant for like a countertop toaster, an oven toaster. So they're available on Amazon. These ovens are notorious for burning things on the bottom, so the pizza stone just helps dissipate a little bit of the heat. I might also, maybe I'll put a little foil on top of this today, doing this meatloaf here. And to get the stuff in there, you gotta kind of put it at an angle, flop it down. Now you can see on the side of the oven, it is hinged. This whole thing folds up very thin. But you know, someday in a future video, maybe we'll get more into the inner workings of the Coleman ovens. So, but today, like I said, we're making meatloaf. I'm not getting any less hungry, so let's jump right into this. Well, it looks like this old 426D is going to need some attention before we can use it. As I was pumping it up, fuel was spraying out of here. We got a bad seam on the fuel tank. But that's okay, I brought a backup. This, you're the coolest kid at the campground. Here, we'll show you. And look at that, it just doesn't look as cool. We are not, I repeat, not the coolest kids at the campground today. But we're going to have the best meatloaf at the campground, guaranteed. So we're going to just keep things real basic. We're going to do a basic meatloaf. This recipe is very easy. Anyone can do it. We're going to use 1 whole onion. We got a small one here. We got a smaller-ish green pepper. 2 cloves of garlic. Got 2 pounds of ground beef. Now I try to use the leanest ground beef that I can for meatloaf. This one happens to be 93% lean. I don't care about all that other hippy-dippy stuff, but hey, whatever, it's all good. Now I go by the 1 pound rule for meatloaf. So for every 1 pound of ground beef, I'm going to add 1 egg. Today we've got 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 eggs. For every pound of ground beef I use, I'm going to use 1 cup of breadcrumbs. For every 1 pound of ground beef, I'm going to use half a cup of ketchup. So today, 1 cup. And just a little bit of mustard, just a jazz. I like mustard, so you don't have to put the mustard in there if you don't want to. And a little splash of brown sugar, just to sweeten it up a little bit. Our seasonings today are going to be ground black pepper and garlic powder, just keeping it simple. We got brown sugar, mustard, ketchup, breadcrumbs, ground beef, garlic, pepper, onion, garlic powder, black pepper, 2 eggs. We're going to beat these eggs thoroughly, like they deserve it. They don't. They're good eggs. Now we've got our chopped green pepper, our chopped onion, and our chopped up garlic. 2 cups of breadcrumbs. I don't have a measuring cup with me, so we're just going to guess. 1, maybe that's 2. And just a little bit of mustard. Dash of brown sugar. I will add our 2 pounds of lean ground beef. The best way to mix this up is just get on in there with your hands after you wash them. and mix it all up. Just the right size for a Coleman oven, and a pretty dang good size for a 2-pound meatloaf. Alright, we're just about to 350 degrees. I went ahead and wrapped the pan in tin foil, just hoping to dissipate some of that heat. We got the pizza stone in there too. Let's get this in there. In the meantime, let's get our mess picked up. Let's pick up all of our litter. Let's not leave a mess here at the beautiful park. That's not what this is about. So if you enjoy the outdoors, don't destroy the outdoors. Pick up your litter, pick up your trash. Be classy, don't be trashy. Hey folks, while we're waiting for that meatloaf to bake, if you're enjoying the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you like what you see here, give it a thumbs up. And how could you not like what you see here? I mean, come on, right? Anyway, also hit that subscribe button down below. We're gaining subscribers. It's great. I want to thank everyone who's hit the subscribe button, past, present, and future. And if you got something you want to add to the video, if you got something you want to say, questions, comments, complaints, you just want to get something off your chest, go ahead and hit the comment section down below. I try to stay active in the comments. I read them all. I try to at least reply to them all. And I learn a lot from the comment section. It's amazing the amount of knowledge you guys and gals have out there. And while I'm sharing this experience with you, you can share your experiences with me in the comments down below. So please leave a comment. We're going to let this flame die out before we mess with it. Remember, we're making a meatloaf here. So there could be grease and stuff like that. We don't want to take this out. You know, remember you got to tip it at an angle to get it out over a hot flame. So I don't really have, I forgot my oven mitts, so I'm going to use my canteen cover. All right. I'm going to try to use my canteen cover. Whew. All right, we're looking pretty good so far. It's starting to look like a meatloaf. So at this point, a lot of people will put the brown sugar, sprinkle a little brown sugar on, and then the ketchup. I already added the brown sugar. I know it caramelizes the sugars while it's baking. I'm okay with that. Give it a couple dashes of Moe's Po Rub. Po stands for put on everything. It's a barbecue rub. You could use it on beef, chicken, fish, anything. I've used it on pastas, and now I'm using it on a meatloaf. I'm obviously not going to rub it in. I'm just going to season it a little bit, and then I'm going to cover this seasoning with a nice layer of ketchup. That way, after we bake it for a little bit longer, it'll add just that nice little kick of flavor that we like. Okay, so round 2 of baking coming right up. For round 2, we are going to lightly cover it with some tin foil. Now you don't have to make this airtight. Just so it has a little bit of cover on it. All right. Well, second verse, same as the first. We're going to go ahead and light the stove back up. We're going to put the meatloaf back in the oven, get the oven on the heat, and keep this thing baking for another 15 to 20 minutes. I might go 20 minutes because, like I said, during the initial bake time, the temperature was hovering between 325 and 350, a little on the low side of 350. So I might bake it just that much longer. Did you notice how earlier in the video this stove was making a lot of racket. You could just hear the flame. It was making a lot of noise. And now it's just running as smooth as silk. That's because at the end of the tube that leads to the burner, the generator, there's a little tip. And at the end of that tip, it can get dirty. But if you rotate this lever round and round a couple times, a little pin inside that tube will knock out whatever that dirt and fuss is at the end of your generator, and it'll run more smoothly like here it is now. My beautiful wife got home from work before I was able to get home from the park. She said she's hungry for meatloaf, so I just grabbed the whole oven with the meatloaf in it and brought it home like that. So let's open it up, see how it turned out. Ooh. Yowzers. Look at that. Now that looks like a fantastic meatloaf. It is a little bit burnt on the bottom. Like I said, these Coleman ovens, that's a thing that happens. It burns things on the bottom. There are precautions you can take, measures you can take to prevent that, but for example, with the meatloaf today, I could have maybe flipped it upside down halfway through so it didn't quite burn on the bottom, maybe just a little scorch and then the scorch on the top too. I could have done something like that, but yeah, some people like the crunchies. So, dinner is served. So how's it taste? There's only one way to find out. It tastes like basic meatloaf. We used a very basic recipe. You can jazz yours up however you want. But you know, when you're out there camping, you don't necessarily have a chef's kitchen at your disposal. You do, however, have a stove and an oven when you've got the right Coleman gear. So if you're interested in a Coleman oven, hop on eBay, hop on the internet. The one I got's from eBay. It's a little older, but they're out there. They're available. And like I said, sometimes they'll burn stuff at the bottom. Make sure you get that pizza stone. Make sure you use foil. If you're making muffins or something like that, we've had good luck in the past with those foil muffin cups. That seems to help quite a bit, actually. Remember, the size of the pans you want to use are like for toaster oven size ones. On Amazon, they got really nice sets with cookie sheets, cooling racks, all sorts of good stuff. So get out there, get cooking, and get baking, right? I'm going to get back to this meatloaf. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you all down the trail somewhere. Until then, have a great day.